Llama 2, which is a Meta, which is Facebook for those out there. And why would you want to use Llama 2? Or what are just some of the nuances?
So for Llama 2, I actually applied for it's still in beta, so if you're using it, they have a big disclaimer on it. Claude 2 actually has the disclaimer too, where it says, we're still in beta. You could get inappropriate answers. But I haven't actually gotten my approval yet. So it just came out and I haven't gotten it.
I know, me as well. We do have a friend, Jason King, that did get it and is using it. But
that's cool.
What you get is you get the ability to download the model.
Yeah.
And it gives it to you in 3 different sizes. One is 7 billion, one is 13, and one is 70 billion. So you can actually do things locally.
Yeah.
So you're not, if you have sensitive data and you want to run it against a large language model, you have the ability to do that without putting your data out into the world.
Yeah.
And I see that potential being like in the health, in the Nashville area, we have a lot of healthcare, organizations here, and HIPAA is something that I constantly hear, like they're very concerned with AI and HIPAA. And so Lambda could potentially be a solution to that. If they can run it locally and keep control of that data, then they could still use the AI. Absolutely.
Everybody I've talked to from the business side of things, like they've been cautiously using GPT and some of the others to write some code, but nothing that was proprietary. So every enterprise or every business in general should be worrying about their information being used to train the AIs, and then it going back out onto the internet. And so, rightfully so, because you don't want to lose value in your product and what you built up. And so everybody's like, well, what's the on-prem? What's the on-prem? And there's been, like the last time I saw a viable on-prem, I think it had 15,000 points or whatever, and it was really small. But it seems like with Llama 2, you're going to be able to go big on-prem, and so you'll host this in the cloud for sure. But still, you're going to be paying for your own compute power and all this kind of stuff. However, this may be one of the things where you actually bring the compute power for these types of queries back on premise, because like NVIDIA, for instance, is building a GPU that's dedicated to LLM AI type usages. And so that's going to be coming out in the very near future. And so it's going to put the type of like GPT Bard AI in each enterprise's hands, but they're going to be able to customize it and train it for themselves. And that's going to be very neat.
Yeah. Now, Llama 2, I think when you download, it's only 20 gigs. Remember, you're not getting the data. You're getting the model. And the model's based on the weights, based on how it was trained from the data. So it's not like you're downloading 70 billion parameters and the data, but you are getting, again, those weights. So according to Jason King, again, he said it was about 20 gigs. And so it can fit on your laptop.
But those parameters increase compute power, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And your computer has to be able to handle it, and you're right. So you would probably, if you're using it, especially for an organization, your computing power would need to be probably cloud-based.
Yeah. So the point with the GPUs from NVIDIA is to get AI in the medium-sized businesses' hands and potentially into the small business hands too, because the enterprise is going to spend the money when they come around to it. Like they'll find, they'll be able to afford it. But the medium and small businesses is where it's gonna hurt, because you can't spend $150,000 on 10 different machines that you're running your AIs off or your LLMs off of.
Yeah, and contrary to popular belief of it's going to save us a ton of money, it will save you some money, but you are shifting money too, because you have to remember you're still paying for the service. Yeah. You're going to pay for that on-prem. You're going to pay for that additional cloud storage. So there's definitely some cost associated with this. It's not a free flip a switch and we're going to save,
Well, right now it's about $30 per compute hour on the enterprise level. Gotcha. And so I imagine that, and it's business talk. So $30 per hour of compute is it's an operational expenditure, because you pay it every single month. It's not going away. And if you're in the business of finance or finance for your business, you don't like that. You like capital expenditures that you can amortize over time. And so the setup is going to be preferable for the way that big businesses work. And so these on-prem models or these locally hosted models are going to be scooped up pretty quick. And so in 2024 and 2025, I would expect a lot of businesses to be spending a lot of money on infrastructure, which is silly because they haven't really done that since like 2012 or so.
Yeah.
Well, I say that some industries are behind and they're spending money on stuff in 2023 that they should have done in 2012. But if you're up to date, you're gonna have to reinvest in your infrastructure.
Well, nobody wants to spend money until it's broken, and then they're like, "Get it fixed."
That's right.